Hello everyone, welcome to the video. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make watercolors with markers. You are going to need to start a plastic sandwich bag and some markers. You will also need either a water bottle with some water in it. You will need paper towel that's wet or a sponge that's wet. You will also need some artwork that you have made already in crayons. So if you have not yet made your crayon drawing, pause now and then come back when you're ready. Remember, when you are making your crayon drawing, you really want to press down hard. In this particular video, I used a lot of white crayon, so that's why this paper looks blank. But the important thing is to push down really hard. Sometimes the crayons will break, but that's okay, because the harder you press down, the better this will work. So the first thing that you're going to do is you are going to color your bag with the markers. Now this method does a really cool ombre effect, which is when colors blend into the next color. So I am going to just go right ahead and I am going to color my bag. Now the bag is made out of plastic, so markers aren't going to stick to it. They're going to look kind of like they're resisting, and that's what you want. You want to make sure that your markers aren't sticking. That is the look you're going for, because what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking the ink that we're putting on the bag and we're going to be transferring it to our picture. So you can do whatever colors that you like. If you are somebody who really wants their colors to blend nicely, I suggest doing all warm colors or all cool colors, because no matter how those colors mix together, they're going to come out looking nice. So if you kind of look at what I'm doing, I'm using blues, greens, and purples, and those are all cool colors. So no matter how they mix, they will look good together. Alright, so I'm going to set this off to the side for a minute, and I'm going to bring out my first drawing. Now remember, this drawing is actually all done in white, so you can't see it, but you'll see what appears after we start the method. So if you're using a water bottle like I am, you just want to go ahead and give your paper a squirt. Then use a dry towel or maybe your paintbrush, and then you want to kind of just spread it around. If your water bottle has a mist setting, that will make this step a lot easier. You don't want your paper to be super drenched. Alrighty. And again, if you could wet your towel and sponge it around your paper, or just using an actual sponge, whatever you happen to have at home. Then you're going to take your bag, and you want to make sure that you are taking the top side that has the color, and you are going to take your bag and you are going to lay it right on top of your paper, and you're just going to kind of stick it on there, and you can sort of start to see it's sticking to the other side. Go ahead and rub it around. And you can kind of see underneath, wherever I had some white crayon, the marker is not sticking. Okay, so then you can take that off. If it was a little dirty, feel free to take a wet towel and just wipe it off, because there's going to be more on there than you think. And then do the same thing again to get the rest of it covered. So I'm going to put some green on here. Now I'm going to do it a little differently. Last time we did stripes, but you can do this any way that you want. So I'm going to make my top part really just crazy colors. I'm going to use all my blues and my greens. I'm just going to kind of scribble them all over the place. Alright, so there's that. They're all scribbled up there. Again, this paper might have dried since you did that step, so carefully put water on this side. Try not to hit that part or it's going to reactivate with color. Again, kind of spread it around. And then you're going to take your bag and you are going to go right on top of it. And again, spread that color around. Use your fingers and get into all these places. Alright, so you can kind of see my drawing has appeared. Wherever I had white crayon, did not get colored. That's the magic of this step, is that the marker will not stick, like the paint will not stick to wherever the crayon was. That's why it's called a resist. It is resisting the color. If you're happy with it like this, you can feel free to stop there, or you can always wipe again, take all that color off that spot, and you can add some more color. So maybe I'll add some more purples and some more blues, and maybe reattack this bottom section to show you how it can layer. So remember, if you're doing all colors of the rainbow, this is where things can start to turn icky and brown. So just be careful with how you are mixing, because you don't want to ruin your work because you suddenly think it's ugly. Okay, I'm going to spread some of that on top. Now, depending on the type of paper that you're using, you can continue to layer this multiple times. If your paper is less thick, like if it's not a watercolor paper or it's not a cardstock, you're going to want to only do a few layers or wait for the paper to dry before adding more. Otherwise your paper will rip. But I'm pretty happy with where that is. So I'm going to leave that one like that. Set it over here to dry. Now, if you like that method, awesome. But I'm going to show you one more thing that you can do with a bag and markers. There is another way to paint with a bag and markers. So we're going to take out my fox over here. And what you are going to need is, you are going to need a paintbrush this time. So you are going to take any colors that you want. I'm going to work with the warm colors this time. So I'm going to put a little bit of red over here. Now the bag is doing that same thing where it doesn't stick to the bag. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your paintbrush, make sure it's wet, get some water in it, and you are going just to mix that up right on the bag, and that's going to give you some red paint. So you can go right on in and paint away. Now what I did on my fox is I colored him mostly white, so even if I'm going across his body, the red's not sticking super much. The only places that it sticks are where I didn't cover completely with the crayon. So, same thing. You can pick a different section of that. I'm going to put some yellow in there. I'm going to rinse off my brush. And then I'm going to turn this yellow section into paint by adding the wet brush. Now I have some yellow. And I'm going to paint that section. Alrighty. Let's see. Maybe we can add some pink. Nice hot pink. Again, I'm going to have to rinse off my brush. And I'm going to add that right over here. Now, if you do not have a color, like I don't have an orange marker with me, you can always mix colors by taking some of your yellow and adding your yellow. Then taking your red and just adding a little red to it. And you can see that it kind of already started to mix there. So when I wash my brush and I add it to here, now I have my orange. I'm going to go up here and I'm going to add that orange. So if you wanted to make a character like this that stays white really easily, you're going to want to color the whole background white, the whole body of the fox, which is allowing me to just kind of go like this and nothing's really sticking. All right, so take that last little bit. And again, you can layer different things on it however that you want. And that is the second way to use a bag and markers to make watercolor paints. I hope you guys had a lot of fun, and I will see you in the next video.